spent a weekend away seeing family, seeing my grandparents, and came back,
Nice.
bag full of stuff. Came to my door, tried to open it, jammed shut. I need to be in my room, like the one time I'm gonna have people in here. But my flatmate came to my rescue, and somehow, first try, managed to open it.
Oh, that is insanely good, isn't it?
Yeah, and I was like, okay, well now I need to undo all those messages that I sent to everyone in this like manic, like, oh
yeah,
no.
well, everything is okay,
We're
and
here.
we are here.
We are here.
And I'm so delighted because I can just see around in your room there's so much imagination and painting and artwork and creativity. As creatives, I think a lot of artists have like reoccurring themes, and I'm not sure if that's the same for you, but if there are reoccurring themes, can you tell us what they might be?
Yeah, so I think all of my work is a kind of exploration of my identity, be it family, kind of dealing with traumatic situations, dealing with kind of like where I exist within different spaces. I feel like my work is very personal, and it's very much kind of about the people that surround me. But I also do like a lot of self-portraiture as well, because I feel like I've always had a fascination with a face, fascination with that. My face is something that is seen by everybody else, but I will never actually be able to see that with my own eyes. Yeah, at the moment I'm working on a painting of my nan.
So is this your...
This is the painting of my nan, yeah. And I was at my granddad's house actually. She's over from South Africa at the moment.
Oh, is she? Okay.
And I was just having a conversation with her, and she kind of broke down literally like the step-by-step of how she came to England in South Africa, because she came over in the apartheid where black people weren't allowed passports and things, and she kind of explained her kind of journey throughout that, and then how she met my granddad, and then how it led to them getting married. And
wow.
She came over on a showbiz visa. She was performing in the West End. I've just been surrounded by people that are just trying to push boundaries. And yeah, so back to like when I was talking to my nan, I was just like, oh my gosh, like I need to record that. I like went on my phone, hopefully she doesn't know what voice memos, and slid my phone there, and then like recorded our conversation. And I was just like,
what does that help? I mean, how does that aid the work?
Well,
that
I
you
think
did?
for one, I just needed to capture that. I needed to hear that story. I needed to be able to listen back to that. I always just try and, I don't know, I guess just like see what I have around and then do it. If I have a plank of wood, I'll paint on a plank of wood. I just find things. There's always, especially in the block of flats that I live at now, there's like this communal space and people just like leave their furniture, leave their clothes, leave whatever. And I feel like for me, whenever I have an idea, I just wait. I never really plan things. I just wait for things to click, and then they just happen, and then I have a vision and I make it happen.
Is it just like intense when you're there?
But I work very quickly.
Right.
I feel like I'm a very lazy painter. I'm like, just want it done. Can't be bothered to, like, when people are like, oh yeah, it took me 2 months to do, I'm like, imagine spending that much. Like, I can't be bothered. Like, me and my dad are the same. It's like, we're just like straight in, like, we need to make it happen.
Yeah. Are you doing a lot of thinking beforehand?
No. Think through making.
What does this mean?
Just think through making. I come up with ideas as I go, and then I have a blob of paint there, and I'm like, oh, I could turn that into something, and then something else occurs. So it's just a complete thing. I was always a bit of a nuisance. I was always kind of like never allowed to draw naked people, and I was like, but I want to draw naked people, why can't I do that?
Right.
And then I was like, okay, so how can I make it? And then the school, suddenly when it was cultural, there was nudity within cultural kind of work, then it was okay. And I was like, okay, well I think that's a bit of bullshit. So I was basically like doing as much as I could to allow myself to be able to draw some boobs without it being kind of like whatever. So I was just like pissing my teachers off, getting told off at every turn, just so I was able to.
You were asking questions?
Yeah.
Really? It's not really, it's just,
Yeah. So then this one was just kind of an exploration of kind of like my relationship with my body and my family, and kind of like regaining some power, because I feel like, as many women do, there's a lot of nasty things that men say to us or make us feel. And I was just always like, no, it's just boobs. I don't want to think about it in this way. I'm just gonna do it. So I feel like from secondary school, with my school being like, no, you're not allowed to do that, I feel like it just put into my head like, no, we're making this happen. We're making the system work for us. We're bending the rules.
So you were sort of rebelling against what you were told, or at least inquiring about why we were asked to do it this way, which I think is no bad thing.
Yeah, exactly. And I think it's really built me up to like not just take no for an answer. Even now at uni, I think I think in lots of institutions there's a fair amount of kind of like small kind of racist remarks or some microaggressions, and I think being in an art world as well can be quite kind of a bit of a culture shock, I guess. And I feel like I'm really happy with these kind of formative experiences that I've had with like trying to like just say no, and I'm gonna I'm gonna change this.
Yeah.
It's meant that now at uni I'm like going to my course leader saying, this student said, I'm only here for diversity, something needs to be done about that. We need to have a safe space here, we need to have this and things are happening. And I think that's why I'm so grateful that I kind of never learned, I was never silenced, I always just made sure I was heard. Hair has always just been a very, very significant part of my life, my family. I only ever had my hair done by my family members. This is such a significant part of like my life. Going off of what you said, I think that's really where it came from. Through secondary school, I was always like, the rule was dye your hair a natural hair colour. I dyed it a natural hair colour. It was like a gingery brown. Got told off because it didn't suit my skin colour. Had to dye it back. My friend refused to dye it back, so she got a 2-week expulsion. We had undercuts, or we had crazy cane rows. We were told it's a distraction, you have to take it out. And it was just like this constant thing of like, we were always kind of just not kind of judged on the same standards that everyone else was, even in terms of other things. So I think for me it was just something that I just clung on to. I was like, this is my way of like showing you I'm not going to listen to you, I'm not going to make myself socially acceptable just so you don't say something to me. And I think for me, like, I think a big part of hair is especially kind of within my family, within kind of black women, it's something that's like so much pride and so much care and time is kind of put into it, but then as soon as it's off your head, it's disgusting. Hair is nasty. It's like throw it in the bin. It's in the sink, on the shower, whatever.
Right.
It's like all nasty, and it's I think for me, I was like, how can I give hair life after it's attached? How can I prolong its beauty? How can I kind of make it into something that can be celebrated?
This has just been so incredible. I want to have just one more question for you. Like, if there was like a starter, like a person who just was starting to draw, let's say there was a little kid, or you know, even someone who's much older and was like, I want to start painting, I want to try to play with colours, and I want to draw faces. How would you, is there any hacks or any ideas that you can give them to do that?
Well, for me, so my father is an illustrator, incredible painter, and my mother as well, and my sister as well. And what my dad always said to us growing up was, stop painting what you think is there, paint what you see. I think in school we're always taught these kind of conventional kind of ways of what anatomy is. No one's anatomy is the same, no one's nose is in the same place. It's complete bullshit to follow those rules because it just doesn't actually work like that. He said break things down into shape. Okay, so what shape is made on a nose? It's like roughly a triangle, and then there's a circle within that, and then there's that. Break down what you actually see. Don't look at the colours and the shadows. Also, work from photos with lots of light and shadow. I think when you're working from flat, kind of low quality images, you're making your job so much harder. Work from something where there's a contrast, you can see a sharp line, look at negative space, look at just colour. In my paintings, I rarely kind of mix colours, I just kind of put it on and then like put another colour on, and then it just kind of works together. Just actually look at what you're seeing, not what you think it's meant to be. Ba ba bum, ba ba bum, ba ba bum, ba ba bum.